Alright, this is an example of how to fill out the linear functions one-sheeter. This is asking you to problem solve from the very beginning, given 2 points, all the way to the end of graphing, finding the equation, and giving visual representations of the function in multiple representations. So this is the whole sheet. We're going to keep coming back to this, but we'll show our work on separate pages. This is not an example that appears in your homework folder. This is another example. Remember, on your test on Friday, you will get a blank one of these given just 2 points. So for this example, we have points 2, -6, and 4, -9. The very first question asks us to find the slope. Remember to use your guide to linear function notes. That helps you work step by step through the problem. My advice for solving this is to number your boxes. And you should start with finding the slope. Once you found the slope, you're going to go from there and ask yourself, okay, I have this information. What can I do with that information? So we are given 2 points. What can I do with those 2 points? Well, the only thing I can do with 2 points is find the slope. So let's do that. Our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to plug in our points. Remember, our points were 2, -6, and 4, -9. And I always like to label mine. So this would be x1, y1, x2, y2. And I just label those just to help me keep organized. All right, y is going to be -6. And, oh, that's not y2, that's y1. See, I already made an error. Let's go back. I've got -9 minus a -6. All of that over 4 minus 2. And I punch that in a calculator, and I find that I get -9 minus a -6 is going to be a -3. And 4 minus 2 is going to be 2. So I get -3 over 2. So that's my slope. So when I write it in my paper, I'm going to write m equals -3 over 2. So let's go back and put that on our paper. M equals -3 over 2. Remember, wherever you do your work, to include that paper in with your assignment. And you can also put it down here in your scratch work area. All right, from there, we check our notes. And the next thing we can do is write an equation in point-slope form, because we have points and we have slope, hence the name point-slope form. So we're going to go to y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And when I plug those in, y minus the equal sign, the parentheses, x minus, and the other parentheses are all placeholders. All of the rest of the information I plug in from my points. When we know my slope was -3 over 2, I have to go back and look. y1 was -6, and x1 was 2. And that's my point-slope form right there. So I'm going to go back and write it on my paper. Y minus -6 equals -3 over 2 times x minus 2. And that's what I have here. Now I can take this problem and actually solve it and find out what y equals. So I'm going to solve it for y. I'm going to get y minus -6, well, double negative is going to be a positive, equals -3 over 2x, because I use distributive property. -3.5 times -2 is going to be a positive, because negative times a negative equals positive, is going to equal positive 6 over 2, so I'm going to reduce that down to 3. And then I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. And I get y equals -3 over 2x minus 3. And there's my equation in slope-intercept form. or y equals mx plus b. So let's go put that on our paper. So that was box 3. All right, so we're writing in our slope intercept form as y equals negative 3 over 2. Sorry about that sound, my cell phone rang. So back to us writing in the slope intercept form, we have y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 3. Okay, so next we're going to find the y-intercept. And the y-intercept's real easy because it's always the last number in your slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, make sure you always take the operator with it. So in this case it would be negative 3. So we're going to put negative 3. And then to find our x-intercept, we plug in 0 for y. So I'm going to do that down here in my scratch work. So if I have y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 3, and I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0 for y, so negative 3 over 2x minus 3, and I'm going to solve for x. So add 3 to both sides, and I get 3 equals negative 3 over 2x. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So I get 6 equals negative 3x. Then I'm going to divide by negative 3. And so I end up with x equals negative 2. So that's my x-intercept. Then my next step, I'm going to write from there, that's box 5. And then I'm going to go over here, and this is box 6. In function notation, that's really easy. I take my slope-intercept form, y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 3, and I just replace the y with f of x equals negative 3 over 2x minus 3. Standard form is going to take a little more effort, so let's go to a clean page. I have my slope-intercept form equals y equals 3 over 2x minus 3. And standard form is ax plus by equals c. From there, basically this tells me I need to have my x and y on the same side of the equal sign. So I need this term over there. So I'm going to add 3 over 2x to both sides. And so I end up with 3 over 2x plus y equals negative 3. Then you want to multiply everything in this equation by 2 so that we can get rid of this fraction here, because when you're in standard form you want everything in whole numbers. So when I do that, by multiplying the x, 3 over 2x by 2, these are going to cancel, so I end up with 3x plus 2y, because I multiplied everything by 2, this one, and this one, and this one, equals negative 6. So that's our standard form, because when we do it in standard form, we want all whole numbers for our coefficients. So we're going to go back to our page, and we're going to put that on here. 2y plus 3x equals negative 6. Hang on, that's my phone again.